What Mark at? Yo.
Oh, my bad, bro. I'm in here cooking some goat.
Hey, Ja Superstar. Ja Superstar, bro.
We gonna say that, bro. Welcome back to Mark My Words, ladies and gentlemen. Now, obviously, the NBA Finals was just won by the Golden State Warriors. Chef Curry just got his first Finals MVP.
Mm-hmm.
We got another NBA superstar that's talking about chefing some things up. We got an interview player by the name of Ja Morant, interviewed by the Taylor Rooks. I'm gonna let you regurgitate what he said in that interview.
Long story short, Ja was saying nobody has more confidence than him. If you ask him, he would cook the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like he would cook
the GOAT
being Michael Jordan. The GOAT. Mike. I know it's a handful in the GOAT conversation, but Mike is the GOAT. So he said he would cook Mike. You know, and you know, watching it in context and not just reading a quote, because you know people put the quote out just for controversy. I get what he's saying. Like, as a competitor, like he's gonna say he's the best. He could compete with anybody. So that's what I took from him.
Right.
But of course the media's on spinning.
As they always do.
As they always do for clickbait and for controversy. That, you know, Josh, you know, he's getting too big. He's getting too big. He's not likable anymore because he thinks too much of himself, you know, because he would, you know. But again, like I was saying in our other segment, fans have to look at these guys like as competitors.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everybody's not thinking like them. Like they're, you know what I mean? Like when you do as an athlete, you're supposed to feel like you're the best. So what is he supposed to say? He's supposed to say, "Oh no, Mike would cook me." I mean, I know y'all, you know what I mean, credit. And he also said, I'll throw this in there, that Mike is the reason that a lot of guys play the game. And he also gave his props to Mike.
But
you
that
know
part
I mean?
didn't go viral.
That didn't go viral because people just, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I feel what he's saying. Now, whether you agree or not, that's up to whoever. But as a competitor, I feel him. What you think about it?
I got two things with it. One, which we'll save for later, I think we can break down what cook or what cooking means. But secondly, I think you can have confidence while also respecting your opponent, or in this case, it's a hypothetical opponent. Because I look at it as one of Mike's toughest defenders was Gary Payton. You know what I mean? And okay, so I'm thinking like, okay, put Ja and Gary Payton's shoes in his jersey. Gary Payton was never, oh man, I can't guard Mike tonight.
Right.
John Stark and those guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The bad boys, the Pistons. Those guys was never, oh man, we got Jordan tonight, man. Let's just roll the balls out and give him 30.
Yeah.
Like, no, those guys competed against them. You know what I mean? And it's at the, and that's where Ja is. And that's hypothetical because Ja is modern and Jordan is, he's old and retired. But I feel like you can have that confidence while also respecting. And again, he gave Jordan his flowers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jordan is the reason why a lot of it not only play basketball, but Jordan is the reason why have people like basketball or watch basketball. You know what I mean?
Let's get into what? Let's get into whether we agree. Now, that was us interpreting what Ja was saying, but let's get into what we think as far as that. Addy, we spoke on the phone yesterday, my brother. What was that you said about Ja and Jordan matching up?
I said I didn't see anything wrong with what Brother Ja said. I think Ja Morant could very well fully filet mignon Brother Michael Jordan.
Now, when we say filet, the GOAT, and when I say the GOAT, and I want to, Mike wasn't perfect. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of issue with Mike being a GOAT. People, oh, he can't do no wrong. That's the thing with Mike. But Mike was that dude. He was elite in every facet. He was an elite defender.
That's fine, but what's
and
his
you
name?
saying filet? You saying filet?
I don't see. Look, and I don't,
what is filet?
this
When we
is what
say
I'm gonna do.
filet,
I'm gonna hop up out this seat. You know, I'm gonna let Brother Mark come on back. So when I say filet, I don't see a situation in which Jordan could fully contain Ja Morant. I'm gonna just put it like that. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying that Ja Morant could fully contain Michael Jordan either. Now, I'm seeing a game where Ja may have about 35, 38, and Michael Jordan have 40, 47. But Ja cooked them if those are his stats, right? And if that was his defensive assignment, correct?
is it cooked though? Even if you gave it on the other end.
So
I'll say that some dudes are just special, and there's nothing really you can do about it. You know what I'm saying? These are the best of the best, like the top of the top. It's no containing a KD or a Bron,
Facts,
or Luka or Steph. You can contain a Giannis. You can contain, but there's
feel like you
still
can contain the Giannis, but that's another conversation though.
you maybe feel like, oh,
So this is what I want you and Mark to do. I want you and Mark to define what is getting cooked.
okay. So getting cooked. What do you think about getting cooked? Because when I think cooked, because I've cooked a lot of folks.
Right.
You know. What's
But
cooked?
now let's break down. I'll look at it two ways. All right. Cooking and getting cooked, right? So if somebody told me, man, I cooked J Duke, I'm thinking, okay, stat sheet, oh man, he had, X amount of points, rebound. I'm looking at y'all's matchup. But if somebody is cooking, that can be just a segment of the game. You know what I mean? Like we mentioned before the camera's rolling, cooking, it could be a stretch where you score 3, 4, 5, 6 baskets in a row. But then at the end of the game, you can check that stat sheet and be like, oh, well, shit, Jalen only had 16 points. You had a stretch where you was cooking. But there's a difference between cooking and getting cooked.
Yeah.
I think it would be a great matchup. But again, where you can think highly of yourself, but at the same time respect your opponent, which is a hypothetical opponent in this situation. Jordan was named a black cat for a reason. He was an all defensive guy for a reason. So that's where we can't miss. We can't lose that. You know what I'm saying? But Ja being who he is, the superstar he's grooming into, I think he will make it a great matchup, and I think they would get the best of each other. Now with that, I don't know if he means just 1-on-1, or I don't know if he means in a 5-on-5 segment. I'll say that if it's 1-on-1, Ja, you got to get the ball.
Yeah,
you got to get the ball, bro. Depending on what kind. Now, if it's just 1-on-1, if he's going against Michael Jordan 1-on-1, you got to get the ball, bro.
You got Michael Jordan, y'all deem as the best player of all time, right? Versus Ja, who is the most athletic guard of all time. I'm gonna go ahead and give him that right now.
Like Mark was saying, I think it'd be a good matchup. And when I hear this stuff about cooking, I don't think 1-on-1, because we never see these guys play 1-on-1.
Right.
We see them on TV playing 5-on-5, matched up against each other. So when you know what I mean, you can see KD cook his matchup. We don't see those 1-on-1 games where
you're talking about scoring.
Right.
Cooking.
You think Jordan can pass better than Ja Morant?
Well, see,
Jordan could. That's
the
they
thing.
play two different positions.
Right.
And then Jordan had a stretch where he had to play point, and he was dominant. Now he's not a point guard. We know Mike was a killer. He was a scorer. So I think, and this is just a little talking about that. This is how these debates with who's better and who can do what, it kind of gets hard because guys have different roles and do different things.
Yeah.
But as far as cooking, I think of that in the course of a game matched up. I don't think necessarily 1-on-1 because we don't get to see that. I mean, Addy was talking on the phone about like the Kyrie, who was it, Kyrie and Bron? We were talking on the phone yesterday about like, was somebody asked Kyrie who won those 1-on-1 games, and we don't get to see that. Now I'm sure he's the best player in the world. Kyrie might win some, LeBron might have won some, but we don't get to see that. But we do get to see them matched up in the real games against other guys. So when I think cook, and back to you saying about the definition of cook, when I think cook, I think you just giving it to somebody. Pause.
You right.
It ain't nothing you can do about it.
You right.
You right? Pause. You right? Chill out, man. you just putting buckets on somebody and ain't nothing you can do. When I think of cooking, not like you score sometimes and they might get a good, and I don't mean that whoever's guarding you can't get a stop.
Right.
You can get a stop and still be getting cooked. I'm not saying you got to score on every single time, but I'm saying for the majority, if you getting buckets put in your head, there's nothing you can do about it.
But
I think that's cooking.
To some degree, you know, it's like Ja Morant is a really good basketball player.
Yeah.
You mentioned, you know, Jordan was arguably the greatest basketball player.
Yeah.
KD is a great, phenomenal basketball. Bron is a phenomenal basketball player.
Yeah.
Curry. So it comes to a point to where, like, these guys are supposed to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now, in the context of what Ja said in this hypothetical matchup,
That game is over. Who do you think will have more memorable highlights? If y'all don't say Ja, that's crazy.
but this is where we can't.
What you think Mike was doing?
We can't be creatures of the moment. We can't have recency bias.
Well, we said cooking or cooked. We're talking about a moment now.
Yeah, but we can't have recency bias.
I do think that Ja would get the best of Jordan. I think Ja would get the best of Jordan. All right, so for those who just tuned into this episode, I come to you apologizing with a very blasphemous statement. Ja Morant would not get the best of Jordan. Michael Jordan will win that matchup in his sleep. As a thing now that's called trolling, all right? After we got done shooting, I just didn't feel it right in my heart, so I had to record this for you guys. I'm sorry, Mike, you the GOAT, bro. Ja, nah, bro, it's not happening, dog. And then you just got to think, and I'm not looking at it from Ja is athletic and he can do this, that, and the third with the basketball. My thing is, you know, Jordan's size, 6'6", solid, you know what I mean? You know, strong,
Yeah.
incredible footwork, pump fakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, he gonna get down in low block and, man, it's just boom, fade away. Turn around.
And not only that, I think the other reason why I respect what Josh said a little bit more is because you have to look at him. Like when he beat the Warriors in them, right? After the game, he's like, yeah, let's play now. Normally some people like, let me not poke the bear.
Yeah.
He seemed like
They want that state. Yeah.
talking to Jordan.
Yeah.
And his approach is more so what makes me believe him than his playing style himself.
Yeah, and that's why Ja is, you know, and the team takes on that. I mean, I feel like the Grizzlies have always been a tough organization, a tough team. But Ja has that mentality that they want all the smoke. He wants all the smoke, and then the whole team takes on that. You know, they got a bunch of guys that take on that mentality.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in here. And Adison, Dre, y'all feel free to answer. Any chance? And Ja is a confident guy, and he deserves to be. He earned it.
Yeah.
At any chance that he's trolling
With that particular statement or in general?
with this statement that he would cook Jordan.
I think in general it was asked in a manner in which it was a lighthearted, kind of playful thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when Ja closes his eyes and goes to sleep at night, I fully believe he thinks I will cook Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I believe that.
I like it.
What Skip Bayless said, he could cook for Jordan. You're not cooking Jordan. You could cook for him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Skip gonna ride. He gonna ride with Jordan. It don't matter who.
yeah, which I feel it though.
And a 5-on-5 segment, I think Ja will bring not only will he get the best of Jordan, but I think he will also bring the best out of Jordan because of what Ja brings to the table.
And also the interesting thing about Ja too is, well, even with how he acts and how he carries himself, I be forgetting sometimes he is not from Memphis.
Yeah.
That's what the city.
You feel me? He is Memphis.
Was like he might have been born from Memphis. Somebody just carried him.
I was talking about that with my dad. Like his dad, Ja's dad on the side, Memphis, like, and then Ja throwing the like. Ja is synonymous for Memphis now. You know what I'm saying? Like he's from South Carolina, but like Ja go down as the greatest Grizzly ever. When it's all said and done, and he has become synonymous for Memphis.
I don't know, man. Maybe Ja open a restaurant in Memphis.
Yeah, man.